Let me ask you something. You check your bank account, you see the number, and instead of feeling proud, you feel nothing. Or worse, you feel anxious. Like, is this even worth it? You skipped the coffee, you said no to the dinner out, you transferred $50 into savings like a responsible adult, and you expected to feel good about it. But you didn't. You just felt broke and boring. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. That feeling isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's not that you're bad with money. It's actually science. And today, we're going to talk about the exact point where saving money stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like power. So, here's what most financial advice gets completely wrong. They tell you to just save more, cut the subscriptions, skip the latte, and somehow, magically, you'll feel financially free. But nobody tells you about the gap, that miserable stretch between starting to save and actually feeling the difference. And for most people, that gap is where they quit. Here's a stat that blew my mind. According to a study by Bankrate, 57% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency expense with savings, not because they don't want to save, but because they started saving, felt nothing, and stopped. The system isn't broken, the timeline is just misunderstood. Look, here's what's actually happening in your brain. When you spend money, you get an immediate dopamine hit, that package arriving at your door, that first bite of an expensive meal, that new outfit. Your brain lights up instantly. But when you save money, the reward is delayed, sometimes by years, and our brains are literally not wired for that. Behavioral economists call this hyperbolic discounting, which is a fancy way of saying your brain values $100 today way more than $200 a year from now. It's like going to the gym. The first 2 weeks, you're sore, you're tired, and you look exactly the same in the mirror. Most people quit here, but the people who push through, they hit what I call the savings inflection point, and that changes everything. So when does it actually start to feel good? Now, you might be thinking, okay, when I have $1 million, I'll feel good. But that's not how it works. Research from financial psychologists, including work referenced by Morgan Housel in The Psychology of Money, suggests that the psychological shift happens much earlier than most people expect. It typically comes in 3 stages. Stage 1 is at around $1,000 in savings. I know, it sounds small, but something neurological shifts when you hit 4 digits. You go from I have nothing to I have a buffer. That $1,000 sitting there means a flat tire doesn't ruin your month. It means a surprise bill doesn't spiral into credit card debt. Let's do the math. If you save just $84 a month, you hit $1,000 in exactly 1 year. That's less than $3 a day. That's 1 less streaming service and 1 less takeout order per week. Stage 2 hits at your first full emergency fund, roughly 3 months of expenses. For the average American spending $4,000 a month, that's $12,000. And here's where people report a genuinely different relationship with money. The anxiety starts to quiet down. You stop making fear-based decisions. You stop taking jobs you hate because you're desperate. That number, $12,000, isn't retirement money, but psychologically, it's freedom money. Stage 3, and this is where it gets wild. Most people don't realize this, so pay attention. If you save $300 a month starting at age 25, and you invest it at an average 8% annual return, which is historically conservative for index funds, by age 55, you have over $440,000. But here's the part that nobody talks about. The first $10,000 took you almost 3 years. The next $10,000 took under 2. And by the end, your money is making more per month than you're actually putting in. That's the moment savings starts to feel good, not because of discipline, because your money is working harder than you are. Most people quit in year 1, right before the momentum kicks in. They're standing on the starting line of a marathon, feeling exhausted after the first mile, and walking off the track. Don't be that person. Now, you might be saying, that all sounds great, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Where does the 300 even come from? Fair, real question. Here's the reframe. Don't start with the amount. Start with the identity. Every time you transfer anything, even $10, you're telling your brain, I am someone who saves. And identity-based behavior, as James Clear writes in Atomic Habits, is the most durable kind. $10 becomes $25, $25 becomes $100, and somewhere along the way, somewhere between the discipline and the math and the compounding, it stops feeling like sacrifice. It starts feeling like control. So here's where I want to leave you. The question isn't, can I afford to save? The real question is, can I afford to keep waiting? Because every month you delay is a month of compounding you don't get back. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now, even if it's just $10. Open your banking app, create a savings bucket, name it something that means something to you. Freedom Fund, Future Me, whatever clicks, and transfer something, anything. Because the feeling you're waiting for, it doesn't come from the number, it comes from the decision. If this video made you see saving differently, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop in the comments, what's your savings goal for this year? Let's hold each other accountable. See you in the next one.